Hello everyone and welcome to another R&R Partners video. Today we are going to discuss how to obtain a long-term Schengen visa as a US citizen or as a Canadian citizen. If you are new to the channel and you're interested in either immigrating to Romania or opening a business in Romania, please consider subscribing to our channel as we post new and updated videos each and every 3 weeks. If you are a US citizen or a Canadian citizen, probably you are aware that you can travel up to 90 days within 180 days within the Schengen zone. However, we have many clients that are interested in staying more than the 90 days within the 180 days limit. If you are also interested in this, you are at the right spot. The European immigration system is a bit different than the US system. So I would want to start from there. For example, the EU has a fixed term, 90 days within 180, that you can stay on a short-term visa. US citizens and Canadian citizens, they don't require a visa. So when you are coming and passing the border, technically a visa automatically applies with the border stamp. In the US, it's a bit different than the EU system. When you arrive at the border, the custom officer will ask you about your stay, what are you going to be doing in the US, and he can decide there on spot for how long he is going to allow you to enter. In Europe, you enter and you have the 90 days. In the US, the border officer can give you a period that is up to 6 months. So technically you can stay 180 days. Continuing a bit with the difference between the US and the European system, in US when you arrive at the border for a long-term stay, you need to have a visa which is issued by the US Embassy. For example, if I would want to overstay the 6 months, I would need to go to the US Embassy. They should give me a visa, and that visa would allow me to stay in the US for a longer period of time. If I would want to overstay the initial visa that I'm granted, the US government would give me another visa until I would get a long-term residency permit, or how it's called in the US, a green card. The EU system works a bit different. You still need to go to the embassy to get a long-term visa, which will be applied in your passport. And when you arrive in Europe, the visa that you have, the long-term visa, is still valid for 90 days within 180 days. However, when you go and you extend the visa, the immigration authorities from the European Union, they will give you a residency card. That is an extension of the visa, and that residency card is linked to your visa for the purpose for which you entered the European Union. Only after 5 years of legally staying in the European Union, in the country where you emigrated, you are entitled to apply for a long-term residency permit. When that long-term residency permit is granted, that would be similar to the US green card. Now, that being out of the way, we saw with many of our clients that they are interested in coming into the European Union and staying for a longer term in order either to travel within the Schengen area or to stay for longer in Romania. If you are in this situation or a similar situation, please note that you can always book a consultation with us and we can give you tailored advice for your particular situation, so you don't have to go through the problems with the immigration authorities, the visas, and the residency permits that usually occur. Even though we've seen multiple cases and there are multiple applications that we handle, we saw a particularity for our clients that are interested in coming to Romania or the Schengen area, and they want the visa to be granted at their demand, and they should be in control of the visa. Therefore, for US citizens and Canadian citizens, there is a facility, if they incorporate a local business, that they can be granted a residency permit for business purposes that is renewable. The benefit of going through this route would be that first, you don't need a local partner to incorporate a business in Romania. You can do it solely. Second, you decide when the company is incorporated, you decide when the company is dissolved, and also the bad part, to say so, you are also liable for submitting the tax returns and paying the taxes if there are any taxes to be paid by the Romanian entity. Therefore, usually our clients have two maintenance costs with the company. One would be to have a valid headquarters throughout the duration of the company and also have a bookkeeper for the company. The benefit is that you are in full control of your residency permit up to permanent residency. You can renew it, you can stop it, you can do whatever you want with your residency permit. If you find this content useful for your situation, we'd appreciate if you hit a like down below, as it really helps our channel out, and you would also be helping other expats that are interested in obtaining a visa and they don't need to have any problem with the immigration authority. Now, after you incorporate the company, the first residency permit that you will receive would be a 1-year renewable residency permit that you will have to renew each and every year if you want to continue. However, the first residency permit is not linked to any business plan. Usually, it's a benefit that the Romanian government gives to US citizens and Canadian citizens so they can start their business in Romania. They'll have a 1-year residency permit to kick things off, to say so. And you will also need to show a rental agreement for a place where you will be staying in Romania. I know I'm probably oversimplifying the procedure, but basically for your first residency permit, the company incorporation you must show and a rental agreement in Romania for 1 year in order to get your first residency permit. Starting with the second residency permit, the immigration authority will be interested to see that your company did some economic activity. Economic activity means that you have some clients, not only expenses through the company that you paid. And also, starting with the second residency permit, you need to have state health insurance in Romania. This process will be continued until you have 5 years of continuous stay in Romania, and then you are eligible to go for permanent residency. Now, the benefit of having a Schengen residency permit in Romania is that this Schengen residency permit gives you the liberty to go and travel in between the EU countries freely as a resident of Romania. As of January 1st, 2025, Romania is part of the Schengen zone, so your days in Romania are not counted, and neither are the Schengen days in other countries counted. So with this residency permit, you can move freely in between the EU countries. However, I want to stress that this permit allows you to travel freely in between the countries, not to establish yourself in another EU country. For example, if you have a Romanian residency permit, you cannot go and establish yourself in Italy or France or another country. If you do that, you will need to go and get a local residency permit in that country. So, as mentioned, this is the procedure, a bit oversimplified, so it can be taken easily. Did you find this video informative? Leave us a comment down below and we'll be happy to reply. Also, did you go through the procedure on your own? Did you find it simple enough? Again, let us know how was your experience, as we are very happy to hear from our fellow expats. Until next time, you can also follow us on Facebook or Instagram, as we also post there. We now have a TikTok account where we have snippets of our videos, and you can also see us there. And until next time, take care and have a great time. Bye!